Man, look, y'all. No lie, I am absolutely hysterical right now. Like, oh my God. Look, just when you think things can't get any crazier in Cowboys land, Jerry and Steven always tell us what? Hold my beer.
I want me some glory hole.
Man, look. For those who joined, I put together what I felt was a very solid appeal to the Jones family on last night, and it's what I call Lee Norman. Good to see you, man. I put together what I called my sales pitch for Jerry and Steven, and I laid out some very great points of areas of improvement and attention that are needed to get this thing situated. And so, I put that out in the atmosphere, into the social media world. That's my contribution. That's Amp's contribution. And what I had basically said, let me turn this music down. What I said that I was going to do going forward is take a deep dive into each aspect that I presented on last night. And so I lay down, and as I'm laying down, I'm thinking about the first topic. And if you were here last night, my first point was in reference to leadership. And nonetheless, I go to work today, and my first order of business was actually a meeting with my department's leadership. And had about a 45-minute meeting, and then guess what? I was out of there for a minute, and then I had a follow-up meeting with some additional leadership, and I get that taken care of. That was about 30 minutes. So I do that. I look up. I'm here on the East Coast. It's about 11:40. I go back home, come to the crib, get me a little lunch or whatever, put some food in my belly, some of that good nourishment. And I hear that faithful tone that we all are aware of. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. I said, okay. And I look down, and what does it say? Cowboys are taking negotiations with head coach Mike McCarthy down to the wire, right? Y'all know Amp don't even do shows in the daytime. So we taking it down to the wire. I'm like, okay, I talked last night about having a sense of urgency. And so I'm like, okay, y'all playing around again. And, I just figured, like what Boss Cowboy and I talked about on yesterday, that's just them squeezing more juice out of that orange. They trying to get more clicks. That's what I assumed it was about. And I'm on the phone with my dog. Shout out my dog T Wright, aka HD, in the comments, talking with my dog, catching up on the day, and then I get another din-in-it. And I'm like, what? Whoa, wait a minute, whoa. And I look, y'all, and it says, after not being able to come to terms, to come to an agreement, Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys have mutually agreed to part ways. What? Man, ain't no way in hell on God's green, beautiful earth. What's up, y'all? Y'all come on in. We are having a family discussion here. We are having an emergency family discussion about the recent news. Yes, I had to cut the music and all. We are having an emergency family meeting because I did not see this coming. Exactly. Now, so I hang up from a dog. I call boss real quick. You know, see, that's the one thing, the beautiful thing about the Avengers. When stuff start happening, we start communicating. I'm talking to him. Guess what? He's talking to our girl. He's talking to Stargazer. And we sitting here wondering, like, what the... And so I'm like, okay, so y'all been paying attention. Vrabel's already off the board. Okay? Obviously, Belichick has decided to go to the NCAA at University of North Carolina. Couple of candidates that people have had names swirling out there in the event that Mike McCarthy was not retained. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, and we were looking at the comp, you know, we bringing wild card weekend to a close, and, you know, we scouting the competition and formulating game plans of how we can make this team better, you know, evaluating the talent, looking at the talent that was on the field this weekend and seeing, okay, yeah, we got one of them. Okay, we need one of them. We have already started the process of evaluating and trying to move forward. And just as we're starting to get some traction, you got people talking about coming together and speaking with one voice, etc. And then y'all hit us with this. And I'm just sitting here scratching my head like, wait, what? But then I told Boss Cowboy, I said, you know what? If y'all remember, back early on this year, the news broke out that Mike McCarthy had hired a new agent, Don Yee. And so I said, that to me sounds like somebody who's getting ready to step towards what they seem to be some sort of a fight, some sort of a struggle. The fact that you had to weapon up because you were under a lame duck season, yes. You went through it, dealt with all of the struggles. You dealt with, you know, all of the injuries, all of the meddling, all that other stuff. And what we saw towards the end of the season is we saw a team of what I felt like starting to build some type of momentum, you know, some type of grit. Like, yes, we were beaten. We were, you know, absolutely slaughtered. Everybody was talking about us. They were joking about us, laughing at us, but we letting y'all know we here to fight. And I'm like, okay, y'all showing me something. And though we didn't make the playoffs, I said, well, looking at the situation, I said, we got something to build on because we still have some key core pieces. And so we were talking about, you know, the stories were leaking out about, you know, Mike McCarthy and, you know, him returning and what would that look like? You know, what would the new contract look like as far as years, as far as money? And then we hear everything. More recently, toward the end of last week, we hear Jerry Jones talking about incentive-based contracts for coaches and all other kind of goofy stuff. Y'all, I don't have no script for this. This is just me spitballing off the dome. But I'm just sitting here trying to put all these pieces together, and I'm like, this don't make sense. You denied the man. Great point. You denied the man the opportunity last week to talk to the Chicago Bears, who requested an interview with him. And so all of us said, well, on the surface, you would think that that shows that they would, you know, are definitely open to bringing him back. You know, it's not just, oh, he's going, he's out of here. We aren't, you know, bringing him back. And so, you know, I'm hearing things and looking at things, and then literally just snatched the carpet from up underneath us. Ledbetter Luca says we are a dumpster fire. And Big Bitty Rent said, you don't treat people like this no matter what. Like, at the end of the day, this man has a family. He has a family that needs to be fed, needs to be taken care of, needs to be nurtured. And for whatever reason, it said that they couldn't come to agreement on the terms of the deal. Now, I did ask Boss Cowboy a question at one point in time, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this with you all. But I said, so Big Mike comes back. What does that contract look like? 2, 3 years, 4, 5? Like, what is it? And he said, man, you got to give him pretty much what standard as far as all of the other coaches in the league. And, you know, it's been well documented. You know, he was one of the lowest paid coaches in the NFL. And this coaching staff is one of the lowest paid staffs. And that's another contract. We can talk about Jerry and Steven being cheap on another day. Better yet, let's make it today. Because for y'all not to be able to agree on terms, I don't think, and more information will come out, but I don't think Mike McCarthy was asking for an Andy Reid type of contract where he's getting $20 million a year for 5 years. I don't think he asked for that. But I do think he asked for more than what he got. And y'all, as far as I'm concerned, like, even in situations where your job felt that you weren't deserving of a performance-based raise, right? If nothing else, you should at least get cost of living to be able to combat the rising cost of inflation. And that's a damn good point, Chris. And see, I spoke on that last night. I said I need a sense of urgency from Jerry and Steven, because you look at what happened with the major contracts that they have dealt with more recently. You know, for them to talk about the fact that, you know, they're good businessmen and numbers guys, etc. And we don't catch cramps from writing contracts. And bro, there's no salary cap for coaching. You don't have any constraints or restraints on contracts. So the fact that he probably wasn't asking for an Andy Reid type deal, but he did probably ask for some sort of raise, because if you look at his body of work, you know, you compare the current coach with the previous coach, and the previous coach gave us 3 8-8s in a row. This coach gave us 3 12-5s in a row and had us a little bit more relevant. And so you would think, okay, he had us playing at a more consistent, elevated level of play. So you would think, hey, you know, yeah, you didn't give us exactly what we wanted as far as playoff success, but he did show some improvement. And even when adversity hit, I mean, the fact that the man has gotten you 12-5 seasons when his franchise quarterback is available to him shows you that he was worth giving consideration. Now, if you didn't want to move on with him, you could have just said that, and we could have started this process a week ago on Black Monday. But no, you do like you always do. You sit on your damn hands, and then you play around with this man. I wish I had that button. I'm gonna have that button tonight. But y'all know the trial with the dude who represented himself. If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not. And that's what Big Mike said. Big Mike probably and his agent probably came with some type of offer, some type of proposal that was a little higher than where he was, not too far from the vast majority of the rest of the coaches in the NFL. And they probably politely said, we can't do it. And Big Mike, you know what he did? He did what any of us would do. He took offense to it. And he said, this is a slap in my goddamn face, and I don't want to deal with this. I've got other people out here who are checking for me. Good day, sirs. That's what happened. Trying not to get in my feelings right now, because y'all know how I feel about management on a personal level. Do I agree with everything Mike McCarthy did while he was here? Absolutely not. I was even responsible for saying, along with so many others, that if you bring him back, right, I'm cool with it let somebody else call the plays. Didn't want to see a whole lot of changeover, a whole lot of turnover, because we're supposed to be in this soft rebuild, if you will. But now, apparently, from what I'm seeing, it ain't about to be it's nothing soft about it, y'all. As the country singer used to sing in the Ford commercial song back in the day, hard like a rock. This is a hard rebuild, a full rebuild. And you had coaches out here coming to bat for him, saying that they would like for him to return on a deal and extend it more on his terms. Well, apparently today, y'all, we found out that more of his terms means he's going to have to find it elsewhere. I got my Cowboys pullover on, but uniform is up under here. I'm on my damn lunch break talking about the Cowboys. I can't even eat in peace. I'm going to have to eat while I'm in the car. While I'm taking hits for you, cuz you got my hand tied behind my back, you going to offer me a short contract. That's probably what they did. It was probably either a short contract or a cheap contract or a combination of the two. My dog T. Wright said, I knew they were going to hold him just to let him go. And my dog said that. He said, man, look at how they've treated players in the past. Holding them till everybody else is starting to gotten picked up. The only reason we're finding out about this now, because as far as when tomorrow came, they would have no longer had exclusive rights to him. And then you would have had other teams who were able to come in, talk to him, bring him in, interview him, and give him an offer. So then the Joneses would have had some type of competition as far as contracts are concerned. But you didn't want that. You didn't want him to see what he might have been able to get elsewhere before you decided to deal with him. So you wanted to hold that information away from him. Do you not think that man doesn't know what his worth is? And I appreciate Dak for what he said, because when he said coming back more on his terms, that shed light on so many different things. And not only was he speaking up for Big Mike, to me, he was also putting the next head coach on alert. In the event, and I said this, in the event that Big Mike doesn't return, he is letting the new next potential head coach know that when you come to Dallas, you might not be able to have things on your own terms. It confirmed a lot of things that we have speculated after doing extensive research on this organization over the years. An organization that I love, an organization that is near and dear to my heart, an organization that I can actually follow to take my mind off, get away from some of the crazy things that life throws at us, like our own jobs. I'm going to share something with y'all, and I said I was going to make it quick, and you're going to hear from me later on the day, but I had to get this out now. I couldn't hold this in until after 5 o'clock. But I want to let y'all know, my wife said something so powerful, even as it relates to my own personal situation. People don't leave bad jobs. People leave bad management.